Hello viewers, hope you're doing well. Today in this video, I'm going to create an API to log in a user in our Spring Boot application. So let's get started. As you can see, the auth controller. I'm going to duplicate this function that we have, sign up user. So a mapping that we have post, URL that we have /login. After the URL, let me update the method name that we have, login user. Inside the argument of this function, it has this annotation @request body that will accept authentication request object. In a authentication request class, we have the two parameters, email and the password. Now inside this function, I'm going to update the try block. First, we have to authenticate a user. Let's navigate to the top. So here, I'm going to inject authentication manager. With this, let me inject here user repository. After injecting these, as you can see, the instance of authentication manager. From this, we are calling it a function that we have authenticate. Inside the argument of this, we have to pass here new username password authentication token. Inside the argument of this, we have to pass here the email and the password of the authentication user. Now after that, we have to load a user. Where from user service, we have to call the function that we have load a user by username. As you can see, the implementation. Inside the argument of this function, we have to pass here authentication request dot get email. After that, we have to call the query from user repository that we have find first by email to load a user from DB by email. So as you can see, a query that we are calling from user repository that we have find first by email. Inside the argument of this query, we have to pass here user details dot get username. On the left side of this query, we have an object of optional user. Let me import here user entity. After retrieving a user from DB, we have the if condition where we have to check if a optional user is present. Then we have to generate a JWT. So as you can see, the if condition where we are checking if optional user is present, then we have to get optional user and save into this object that we have user. After that, we have to call the function from JWT util that we have generate token. Inside the argument of this function, we have to pass here user details and the user ID. We are saving the token into this variable that we have JWT. After generating a token, we have to create an object of authentication response. First, we have to set here JWT token. After that, we have to set here a name of a logged in user and we have to return the response with the status 200. In case if a user is empty, then we have to return the response with the status not found and the body where we have a message user not found. Now at the last, we have to catch here a multiple exceptions like bad credentials, disabled, user not found and the exception. With these, we have to return exception message with the concerning HTTP status. Like for bad credential exception that we have unauthorized, for disabled we have forbidden, user not found exception that we have not found, and the exception that we have internal server error. Now you can take a look of an auth controller. Let's navigate to the Postman and let's test the API. Let me duplicate this tab, update the path that we have /API/auth/login mapping that we have post. Let me add the request payload in the form of a JSON where we have a email and the password. Before calling the API, let me run the Spring Boot application. As you can see, our Spring Boot application started successfully. Let's navigate to the Postman. Let's click on the send button to call the endpoint. So as you can see, a status code we got 200 OK. With this, we are getting here a JWT and the name. So that's all for now from my side. If you have any confusion, you can do comment. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.